Okay, here we go, everybody. A few months ago, I did a little experiment with the Skittles and the color, the way the dye spreads in there. So I'm going to do a little mini version of that right now while I explain the other things I'm going to be doing today. Okay, I'll get some purples in there. The purples have all spread away from me. Okay, basically, just random around the edge here. Let's say I'll link the actual experiment in the description, or maybe I'll just put it up on the screen right now if I can think to do that. And it's a little humid here, so the Skittles are already getting sticky just in my hand. So, and I do apologize for the audio. This is an old camera, so I hadn't used it in a while, so I'm not sure how this is going to sound. But while this one runs, I'll explain the rest of the more in-depth version of the experiment. Just get you some water in there. Try and get them all covered, mostly. And now, the backstory of this whole experiment. During COVID, I got interested in YouTube like most everybody did, and old Nick Zametti and Evan and Caitlin were playing with the resin, so I bought a couple of kits of resin and just let them sit on the counter and never used them. But I thought, I remembered them the other day, and I thought, I need to do something with that. But see how this is all spreading in like that. I think that's just a cool effect. And it occurred to me that I had done this experiment, and resin is basically a liquid, so in theory, the same effect should happen in the resin, and then it'd be locked in place. But then, resin's thicker, but this stuff goes so fast, maybe that won't matter. I don't know. But that's what I intend to find out today. But the downside is, since some of that resin sat around for a long time, this batch got hardened. So this is my big batch, and the little batch. I'm hoping that the little batch, between the two of them, I'm hoping I'm having enough to fill out my mold here. And actually get my mold cleaned out there. Some of the trash off of it anyway. And we'll find out if that effect does occur in resin, and if that does work, it locks in. I think it's worth finding out, but that's the plan for today, so bear with me while we get to this. So I'm just going to dump it all out here. Well, there's where all the purple ones went. Yeah, so just sort of try and spread them around the edge. I don't think I'm going to have enough to go uniformly around, but we'll see how things go. Like I said, humidity's up. It's the south and it's the summertime, so naturally I'm trying to make sure most of the dye doesn't run off on my fingers as I'm doing this. I think I should just be picking them up and moving them because it doesn't seem to be. Okay, looks like it's going to be pretty close to getting a good uniform circle on here. Maybe. Get these little guys. And just sort of plopping them in. And of course, silicone didn't a little more sticky than the plastic, so that's going to be another issue, getting them sort of flat. Okay, so let me find a cup. Sorry, that probably didn't sound that great. Okay. So now, sort of, hopefully lay them down. Not the most cooperative materials to work with here. I didn't think this far ahead. And I also think I brought too big of a mold to start with. Probably wouldn't work better with a smaller version, but You work with what you got, or I do at least. And wasn't anticipating this part being the difficult part. Okay, come. Okay, that's pretty good. A few strays in and out around here. And like I said, I'm just going to start with the small version. And I say I'm just going to use all of it because there's a 50-50 use case. So that should make it pretty easy. Oh yeah. According to the very limited instructions with it, you do want to glove up on this stuff, so do that right quick. And like I say, I'm down here because it's a well-ventilated area, because I haven't used this kind of resin before. I've used the kind that comes in little tubes where you squeeze it out and like little bits come out. It automatically combines. Okay, so just in there. So this is an easy one because I'm automatically going to get the 50-50 ratio because I'm just using all of it. And the actual epoxy and the hardener. Kit did come with a little spatula dealio to mix it together. We'll see how we may get. I don't think we'll get enough coverage on one batch to get everything done at once. I think it's going to take at least 16 to 18 ounces based on my guesstimations with water. I actually did some prep for this one. Not enough, obviously, but some prep. Okay, I'll ease you out. Should be good and mixed. And set you aside. And gently pour it down the middle. I have attempted to level my workbench here, my work area anyway. Okay. Okay, it's gonna make it to the candy. Some places. But I don't think it'll cover it. So now, put that back in there. And now I've actually got to start using my measuring cups for this other batch. I'm thinking, hoping to get 200 mil a piece in there. See the markings on it. And I hope I've got enough left over after that hardened bit up there. So that's the first 100. Second 100. Hold up in there. No, I've got, it came with another scraper. switch to my other container and hope I've got 200 ml of this messy stuff in left. Okay. I should have done it 100 at a time. Okay, that. Get the first 100 out. And another scraper. And now it's going to be close. I think it's going to make it. Just barely. I think that's about all I can really get out of that one. Yeah, see, might have seen some chunks going in there. I hope it was air bubbles, not chunks. Okay. There. Mixing stick going again. I think we'll have enough here to do what I want to do. We're about to find out. And I say this may all be a water haul and not do anything at all because of the thickness of the actual liquid, but you don't know until you try. So definitely getting some chunks in there. So I may, if this works out well, maybe I'll buy some more and do it properly with clean resin. Okay, so we'll spread it around to the edges and hit all these guys and see. Oop, a little spillage there, that'll be alright. Trying to get them all covered. I guess if nothing else, I'll have a Skittles decorative plate. And now, the last of it oozes out. Hear the dogs running around upstairs. I think it's just a matter of wait and see if the reaction even does like I was wanting it to do. But not promising to start with, I'd say. I don't see anything yet. It doesn't mean it won't be doing it. It might just be slower because of the viscosity of the resin, but we're going to find out together. I'm going to turn this thing over to the time lapse now, and we'll see how things go. So, stay tuned. I'll come back to you and talk to you in a minute. Okay, that was an hour, and I do not see any indication that it's doing anything. So I don't think it's going to work. Don't know if this will be my last run at this or not, but that's disappointing. But, you know, it could have been better if I'd used a deeper dish, or definitely a smaller dish, get full submersion there. But even the ones that are totally submerged didn't do any drifting or spreading out the dye. So I'm going to say that this was a wash. I'll let it cook for another couple of days and make sure, but I think I gotta call that I'm a little disappointed because I thought that would be a really cool effect. But we will, like I said, I'll come back and peel it out once it solidifies. I think it says 72 hours. and we'll see how it looks just having the Skittles embedded in there, and we'll go from there. But thanks for watching. I'll probably get a few more hours and see if anything happens else tonight, but I don't think I've got much hope for it. But that's all for now. I'll give you one more update before we call it a total failure, and then we'll proceed to the next one in a couple of weeks. Okay, it's been yet another 3 or 4 hours now, and see absolutely no motion at all on the die, so I'm probably going to go ahead and call that. I'll put up a short whenever I peel it out of the form sometime this week. We'll see how that turns out, but it has got me my mind percolating on other experiments to do, so I don't think this will be the last resin experiment you see on the channel, so got that to look forward to. I've got a couple of ideas already, but I'm excited about opening up a new avenue of experimentation. We'll see how it goes, but in the meantime, I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching.